Have you ever pondered over the mysteries of life and existence? What if we told you that a prince, born over 2,000 years ago, asked the same questions and found profound answers? In the verdant landscapes of southern Nepal, in a small tribal kingdom known as Shakya, a child was born. This was no ordinary child, but a prince named Siddhartha Gautama, born in the year 463 before the Common Era. His life was one of luxury and privilege, surrounded by the opulence of palace life. Yet beneath the gilded surface, a profound dissatisfaction began to stir within him. This young prince, with all the world at his feet, found himself captivated not by the allure of power and wealth, but by the profound enigma of existence. He observed the world around him, a world filled with suffering, and he yearned to understand why. Why did pain exist? What was its cause? Its purpose? These questions consumed him, and ultimately led him to make a decision that would change the course of his life, and indeed, the course of human history. Siddhartha chose to renounce his princely existence. He walked away from the comforts of his palace, from the security of his royal status, and embraced the life of a wandering ascetic. His new life was a stark contrast to his old one, defined not by abundance, but by severe self-denial and discipline. He hoped that this path, this extreme contrast to his previous life of indulgence, would provide the insight he sought. The prince was now a wanderer, traversing the vast landscapes of his homeland, seeking the answer to the riddle that had consumed him. His journey was just beginning, a journey that would lead him to profound realizations about the nature of suffering, the nature of existence, and ultimately, the nature of enlightenment. Thus, the journey of Siddhartha Gautama, the prince who would become the Buddha, began. Imagine giving up everything you have, all the comforts, to seek the truth about life. That's exactly what Siddhartha did. He was a prince, born into opulence and luxury, but he chose a life of asceticism, a life devoid of worldly pleasures. He renounced his princely existence, left his palace, and took to the forests, dedicating his life to finding the answer to suffering. For 6 long years, Siddhartha lived an austere life. He practiced severe self-denial and discipline. His days were spent in meditation and contemplation, his nights in the open under the starry sky. He ate so little that he was nothing more than skin and bones. His body became weak, but his determination remained unshaken. He was on a quest for truth and enlightenment, and he was ready to go to any length to find the answers he sought. However, as time passed, Siddhartha realized that his extreme austerity was not bringing him any closer to the truth. He was denying himself basic necessities, pushing his body to the brink of death, but the answers to his questions remained elusive. It dawned on him that this path of severe self-denial was not leading to enlightenment, but was, in fact, hindering his progress. He understood that the answer to suffering was not to be found in self-indulgence, as he had experienced in his princely life, but neither was it to be found in self-denial, as his ascetic life had shown him. He realized that both extremes were obstacles to self-awakening. In the brink of death, Siddhartha had a revelation. The path to enlightenment lay neither in indulgence nor denial. It was a middle way, a path of balance and moderation. This realization was a turning point in his journey, a step closer to the truth he had been seeking. It was time to regain his health, to nourish his body, and to continue his quest with renewed vigor. And so, Siddhartha, the ascetic, embarked on a new path, a path that would eventually lead him to become Buddha Shakyamuni, the awakened one. A fig tree, a man, and a profound realization. This is where the prince became the Buddha. In the heart of Siddhartha's journey, we find him under the fig tree, which is now known as the Bodhi tree, or the tree of awakening. This is not merely a tale of a man sitting under a tree, but a story of a transformative moment that would echo through centuries. As he sat there, Siddhartha, worn down by years of self-denial, began to meditate. He anchored his mind, stripping it of all distractions, and plunged deep into the vast ocean of consciousness. The world as he knew it started to dissolve, and in its place, a radiant truth began to unfold. The veil of ignorance was lifted, and the true nature of existence was revealed. Siddhartha realized that the root of all suffering was ignorance and the attachment to a transient world. It was a profound realization, a perfect understanding that self-indulgence and self-denial are but two sides of the same coin, both leading away from the path to enlightenment. In that moment, Siddhartha, the prince, was no more. He was reborn as the Buddha, the awakened one, the sage of the Shakya clan. From that day forward, he was known as Buddha Shakyamuni, a beacon of wisdom and compassion, an embodiment of the ultimate reality he had awakened to. Buddha Shakyamuni's awakening was not a personal triumph, but a landmark in the spiritual evolution of humanity. It was the birth of a path that would guide countless souls towards inner peace, towards understanding, towards enlightenment. This awakening was not just an end to Siddhartha's personal quest, but the beginning of a journey that would span 4 decades. It marked the genesis of a spiritual revolution, a movement that would challenge the very fabric of human understanding. Enlightenment, as Buddha Shakyamuni discovered, was not a state reserved for the divine or the extraordinary. It was a potential inherent in all beings, waiting to be realized, waiting to be awakened. With his newfound insight, Buddha Shakyamuni was ready to guide others on the path to enlightenment. Imagine having a profound understanding of life and choosing to share it with others. This was the journey of Buddha Shakyamuni. Upon awakening to the ultimate reality, he was not satisfied with merely having solved the enigma of existence for himself. Instead, he felt an overwhelming sense of compassion for all beings who, like him, sought answers to the timeless questions of life. Buddha Shakyamuni embarked on a remarkable journey, traversing the vast landscapes of India. His travels were not aimless wanderings, but a purposeful mission to spread the wisdom he had uncovered. His teachings were not prescriptive. Rather, they were tailored to the capacity of each individual, meeting them where they were on their own path of understanding. From his profound wisdom, he taught the 4 Noble Truths, outlining the reality of suffering, its origin, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to this cessation. He also introduced the concept of dependent origination, expounding on the interconnectedness of all phenomena. What made Buddha's journey truly remarkable was his boundless compassion. He did not discriminate between the rich or the poor, the educated or the uneducated. He taught anyone who was willing to listen and learn. His teachings were like a raft, helping people navigate the turbulent waters of life and reach the other shore of enlightenment. For 42 years, Buddha Shakyamuni carried on this noble endeavor, tirelessly sharing his insights. His compassion was his driving force, his wisdom was his compass, and his teachings were his vehicle. Through his efforts, he gradually raised people's level of understanding, preparing them for the higher teaching, the Lotus Sutra. Buddha Shakyamuni's journey was not about gaining followers or establishing a religion. It was about lighting the lamp of wisdom in the hearts of individuals, helping them realize their own potential for enlightenment. His journey was an embodiment of selfless compassion, a testament to the transformative power of wisdom and love. Buddha Shakyamuni, the sage of the Shakya clan, dedicated his life to teaching others the path to enlightenment. In the final years of his life, Buddha Shakyamuni imparted his highest teaching, the Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra, a text of paramount importance, embodies the heart of Buddha's teachings. It's a profound scripture that encapsulates the essential message of the Buddha, the infinite potential and inherent enlightenment of all beings. It's a teaching of hope, a testament to the boundless capabilities within us all. Buddha Shakyamuni, in his infinite wisdom, reserved this teaching for the later part of his life. He knew that understanding the Lotus Sutra required a certain level of spiritual maturity. It was not just a teaching to be heard, but a message to be lived, a path to be walked. In the last 8 years of his life, Buddha dedicated himself to the Lotus Sutra, sharing its wisdom with anyone ready to receive it. His teachings became like a river, flowing from the mountain of his wisdom, nourishing the fertile fields of the minds and hearts of those who listened. And as his life drew to a close, Buddha Shakyamuni did not falter. His commitment to compassion, to teaching, held steadfast. He spent his final moments in a grove of sala trees, serene and composed, a testament to the peace that comes from understanding the true nature of existence. His last words were a reminder to all things are impermanent. Work out your own salvation with diligence. As he passed into parinirvana, the final extinction, he left behind not just a legacy, but a beacon for all humanity. His teachings, particularly the Lotus Sutra, continue to illuminate the path for millions seeking answers, providing guidance towards a life of compassion, wisdom, and ultimate enlightenment. Buddha Shakyamuni, a man who sought answers, found them, and spent his life sharing them. His legacy continues to guide millions towards a path of enlightenment,